Hello, everybody. We're back for episode 7 of Barbells, Burgers and Bitchin', the podcast brought to you by yours truly, Mike. I don't know why I'm doing that, like holding a mic. If you're watching the video, you'll see what I just did when you've literally got a mic.
What's going on?
I said podcast brought to you by
Alex.
and Hannah. That was so enthusiastic. This episode is going to be a little bit different to our usual. Well, not really, but it wasn't what we planned. We saw a video recently pop up yesterday, actually.
Very fresh in the mind.
Hosted by influencer known as Joe Fazer, I believe his name is, he created a YouTube video basically comparing his experience with two very different PTs, and then got them to sit down at a table and basically ask a bunch of questions related to what it takes to be a PT.
It was just questions around
body
it, wasn't it?
positivity and whether you should look the part when it comes to being a PT. And it got quite a bit of controversy, or it got a lot of conversation going, including between Alex and I, which I thought was fun. Always interesting. And I thought it would be a good conversation to have here, because I think it's definitely going to be something that
a load of people. Well, have a load of people. I've seen people already
I've
seen people already reacting to it.
Joe Fazer. I did not know his real name was Joe Farrington. Is that the guy? It is, isn't it?
I didn't know who he was until I saw the whole
I'd heard the name
thing.
Joe Fazer.
I get confused because the boxer called Joe Fraser, isn't there? Joe Fraser?
Is that him? Is it him?
It should. If you go onto his stuff, it should be the latest. He should have.
Did he do it?
That is him.
That is him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to find the names of the people involved. So the first PT, it was a woman called, bear with me. Oh, actually, before we even get into this, shall we introduce the videos the podcast as we always like to do with your stupid question?
My stupid question there.
You're always the creative one that comes up with it. See what I did there?
I understand.
I was calling you creative, but it was a backhanded comment. Doesn't matter. Anyway, what's the question you've got up your sleeve today?
My question is, if you could have any animal as a pet, what would it be? But the whole thing is, this animal is tame, so you could have like a lion, and it's not going to claw your face off. It's going to be like having a dog. You know, it's going to do stuff you ask it to.
If I could have any animal as a pet, what would I have? Could I have like a body of water?
I don't even know how to respond, because then if your question is you want some kind of aquatic animal, you'll then have to carry a body of water around with you everywhere that you go.
Why am I? I can leave it to go shopping.
Yeah, but what's the point then?
Well, do you take Midge around with you wherever you go?
No, but she doesn't require water to go everywhere that she needs. I don't have to put her in a tank and carry the tank around, do I?
What?
I'm assuming you're saying, can you have a body of water because you want something aquatic, right? So the only time you're going to be able to do anything with it is when it's in that tank.
I can watch it swim.
Right, so basically what you want is an aquarium. Not
necessarily.
Yes.
What if I could own a big fat lake and I could have
Yeah, but then you could only appreciate it at the lake.
What if I could own a river and I could own a river dolphin?
So what? Okay. You've already fucking pissed me off with your response massively. I hate it. Oh, I hate it already.
What do you mean?
Because if you have something that's on the land, like a lion, you can appreciate it the entire. Like if you went somewhere, you could take it.
Appreciate a river dolphin in its natural form.
Okay, take a river dolphin out with you somewhere. What's going to happen? It's going to fucking die, isn't it? Because it's not in water.
Why would I take it out of water?
That's my point. You're only going to be able to appreciate it in one place, whereas something like a lion, you can take it anywhere you want.
Well, have you not seen that people have goldfish?
Yeah, and it's a fucking stupid pet.
That's your opinion. Some people love their fish. You don't see people taking their pet snakes around everywhere with you, do you?
Yes, but a snake isn't locked into water.
No, they're locked in a tank.
No, but you can have it on the floor.
But you don't.
I would.
But people don't take them shopping with them.
I would.
No, you wouldn't.
If I had a snake, fuck you would.
Definitely, there's definitely going to be some. What if people have pet tarantulas? They don't take that around with them, do they?
You're giving me.
You're getting triggered by a very.
I'm not getting triggered. I'm just saying it's stupid to say you'd want something in the water, like an aquatic animal.
I love aquatic creatures. I love sea life. I used to want to
be
be
what's the benefit? So you're saying if you could have anything, it's like, I could have I don't know, whatever it would be, because I could if you had a bear, you could ride it. and you could like carry around places.
Well, that would be, I feel like, cruel to the animal. You're just using it then. That would be
and
cute,
forcing
though.
the dolphin into
A panda would be real.
And forcing your dolphin into a lake that you're going to have a specialty thing, just making it live there.
No, I would have it in its natural habitat, a river, for a river dolphin.
Yeah, but surely if you had that in somewhere you live, it wouldn't be the full extent of its natural habitat. It would be like a portion
Well,
of.
it might be. I might be really rich, like a whole land of water.
A whole land of water.
A whole like area of water. Like I could own a continent.
So your thing requires you to have like 13 miles worth of river for this dolphin to not be in cruelty.
Girl can dream big. You didn't say there's any limits.
No, I didn't.
You said if you could have any animal you wanted.
I didn't. I've given you literally anything,
What
and
if
you've
I wanted
gone
a great
for the
white
most.
shark? If it was more aggressive, you'd probably think, yeah.
No, it wouldn't, because it'd be the same thing. It's going to be what you. Okay, you can have a great white shark as long as you have an ocean.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't say there was any variables.
I didn't, but I feel like you just piss. It's just annoyed me. The answer you're given.
What would you pick?
Silverback gorilla.
That came off way too easy off the tongue. Like you.
Easy. I've thought about it.
Why? Why would you have a feel silver?
It's intelligent.
Right.
So, like, if you wanted, like,
dolphins are intelligent.
Yeah, but it's in the water.
Yeah, they can swim with you. Have you not seen dolphins?
Anything can swim with you in the water. That's how they move.
Like swim with you. Most fish would scare away from you.
There's also some scary stats about dolphins and like sexual.
We're not going to talk about that.
You know, the sexual assaults.
Why are you soiling this wonderful idea I've got in my head of owning a river dolphin?
I'm just saying, it's they just what they do.
Silverback gorilla, they're intelligent.
Yeah.
We gonna have a conversation with it?
No. Can you have a conversation with any animal? Why are you trying to? You've been butthurt about my response to your stupid answer, and now I'm getting shit for it.
I just don't get why you're getting mad at it.
They've got opposable thumbs, so they can grip stuff. So if I could make it, I could get it to carry things or carry me like a little baby. I'm tired. Ooh, carry me. They're strong as well. I could ride. It could, pick me up. I could do stuff. It's just the interaction would be great. Interaction would be great with it.
Anything else?
Yeah, you can just make it do stuff.
Make it do stuff.
Well, not make it do stuff.
Performing monkey.
Not make it do stuff.
It's there for your entertainment. Do you not let it value its own species?
Dude, can you pass me something? We're chilling. We're chilling on a sofa.
Dude, can you pass me something? Does it speak English now?
We're chilling on a sofa. Language acquisition in chimps and stuff. They can understand. They just can't say it. Lexicon.
Is that real?
Did you do psychology?
No.
Cyber drum bar?
No.
No?
I just said I didn't do psychology. I didn't do psychology, and you don't follow up with the psychology.
Any of you psychology peeps out there that did cyber drum bar, you know what I'm on about. Kanzi and Mullica. They taught
I still don't know who that is.
It's
probably because I, still didn't do psychology.
Anyway, but the chimps, they can understand language.
Oh, that's nice.
So I'd be like chilling with him on the sofa, just watching a movie about, hey, dude, can you pass me the snacks? And he just passed me the snacks.
Well, out of principle now, I'm still sticking with my answer of a river dolphin, even though that's not probably what I'd pick. But it triggered you so much.
So what actually would you pick then?
An orangutan would be really cute, I feel. A panda, a little panda. They would give the best hugs, wouldn't they?
A silverback gorilla wouldn't. It would give me a hug so good it would snap my spine.
Exactly.
A panda would know.
Gentle.
Yeah, but it's 100%
panda
tame.
Would bring you peace.
It's
I feel
tame.
like my nervous system would be grateful for that.
Yeah, that I you know what? The panda is infinitely better than a river dolphin. I will take that answer. I'll take the answer any day over the river dolphin.
An elephant would be real cute.
Yeah, and an elephant. I take those. I'll take that over the river dolphin.
Elephants can be quite fun, actually. They can paint. Have you seen them paint? I don't actually know if I agree with that. Is that some sort of animal cruelty as well? You know where they get them painting stuff in, like, tourist attractions?
I think if you gave a wild elephant a paintbrush and a canvas and it chose to do it.
Hippo. What about hippo?
They're deadly.
Yeah, they are. Exactly. No one would fuck with you.
That's the same reason I have the gorilla. Who's going to fuck with me if I've got a silverback gorilla?
The gorilla would fuck with you.
No, because in this scenario, it is tame.
Okay. I still think river dolphins are a valid answer, but...
it's valid, it's stupid.
Okay, moving on. I found the video, by the way, on YouTube that we're going to reference. But before we go on, Alex actually brought a sweet treat with him. And we're going to taste test it on the podcast because we've not done this before. And, you know, a third of the value of this podcast is burgers, which is code for food.
Yeah, well, burgers are... this isn't a... We had burgers last night.
We did have burgers last night. Oh my god, wait, no, I can't say it yet. I was going to say we've got something fun to do, but that's probably not going to be the podcast.
Show them the result.
Let's show for the people that are watching the video. Look how nicely this is packaged up. What is it, fudge?
Yep.
The fudge kitchen. If anyone has been to the land...
the camera's not...
Is the webcam going to pick that up? Is it too bright?
It's too bright.
There we go. No?
No.
How do the YouTubers do it?
I don't know.
Trust me when I say it's a pretty box. It's called the fudge kitchen. Yeah, if anyone's been to Bath...
What are you doing?
Theatre of Handmade Fudge was opening it. Is that okay?
Yeah, I just didn't know the word.
Oh, it's even got a whole story background to it.
This is riveting content.
Fudge loving treats. Your next indulgence starts here. Do we know what we've got?
We've got like the plain one, a salted caramel one, and a
there's
chocolate swirl
variety.
one.
There's choices. Did you want to try one? Like a specific flavour?
I wanted to go for the chocolate swirl. I think that's the middle one.
The one that I haven't opened.
The one that you haven't opened, yeah.
Of course. My dear, I will pick the most awful flavour for you. Wait, this one?
Yeah.
What did you say? Chocolate swirl?
Just
vanilla?
a normal one, chocolate swirl, and then a salted caramel.
Oh, in that order?
Looking at it, yeah, I think so.
Oh, I can pull it out.
Jesus.
Oh my God. Whoa.
You are making a...
I'm just trying not to break anything.
Riveting content for guys and gals listening.
Guys, you're trying to get some quality food content here, and if you ever find yourself down south in the land of Bath...
Should we do ASMR?
This isn't going to be... Oh yeah, can we do ASMR? Well,
No.
it'll be so smooth, it'll just... Is it going to... No, absolutely no.
You got the ASMR of rustling paper. Enjoy.
Some people like that. Is that too big of a slab?
Nope.
Of course it's not.
Oh, I don't just...
Oh no. Is it sticky?
No, it's just stuff on there.
Wait. Oh no, it's sticky.
No, I think it's just Just give me a minute.
Yeah. Cheers.
Tink. Tink. What do you think I said?
I don't know.
What do you think I said?
Slurred.
Definitely didn't.
Oh! Oh my God. That's different to any fudge I've ever had before. What the hell? That's like creamy. Okay, so guys, you know when you normally have fudge? It's like smooth, but it's like consistent all the way through, isn't it? It's like hard, but it melts in your mouth. Don't laugh. But it is. This is like gooey.
Yeah, good.
That's really good.
I could eat all three bits, but I think I'd be violently ill.
No, I'm no sick. It's sickly.
Yeah, sickly.
It's good though.
Right. Should we get into the nitty gritty?
I recommend. Okay, the fudge kitchen, guys, hit it up. Oh, maybe if when we become big and famous, we'll get food places that send us free food and get us to review it.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 we recommend going. Give us some free food.
For Ali.
Okay, yeah. Moving on to the actual depths of the podcast now. So, Joe Fazer, famous influencer on, I believe, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I think he has. How many subscribers does this dude have? Just over 2 million subscribers. So
2 million?
2 million?
Wow.
Anyway, he created a video that he released 2 days ago from when we were recording this podcast, so the 24th of November, entitled it, "I Hired a Fat Personal Trainer." That was it.
Yeah.
In the description...
Other people type.
Does he give the information?
No, he gives the timestamps.
Hang on a minute. Yes, he does. So he had 2 personal trainers, one called Rhiannon Cooper, one called Bobby... I'm going to butcher his name. Geritas. I'm so sorry if I'm acting like he's going to be listening to this podcast, but yeah, Geritas. And then Rhiannon Cooper PT is the other one. They're their Instagram handles, by the way. So, do you want to give a summary of what happened in the video? Unbiased, just
no,
what happened.
You give the unbiased because
Why?
I'll go off on one. No, I won't.
You don't have to, you just say what happened. We're not giving your opinion yet.
Yeah, I don't know where this. Yeah, so he's clearly got in touch with these 2 PTs. He gave a breakdown of like how much it would cost per session. So not the blocks or anything, but like just for a 1 hour. I think it was 1 hour, wasn't it? The session. Yeah. So he had a session with was it Rhiannon?
Yeah.
Rhiannon. Now she is the quote unquote fat PT. And her whole demographic is like aiming it at people that are just getting into the gym, just getting started. So she took him through a session, and then a day or 2 later, I think he met up with that Bobby guy, who was more of your like bodybuilder. He looked jacked, and he took him through a So I think with Rhiannon it was an upper body workout.
Yeah, and he took her for a push.
And with Bobby it was a push session. And then they had the 2 sessions, and then after he sat them down, and I think there's a load of other channels that have done it, but it's basically they sat at a table with strongly disagree, disagree, agree, strongly agree on the table. They got given 2 shaker cups. Joe would give them a statement, and then they would, put on their thing
What were their opinion?
what their opinion was, and then based off that, they would then like have a bit of a debate back and forth and try to give their stances and justify what basically just giving out their thoughts and
the whole like
opinions.
basis, or I should say, like the premise of the whole experiment, I don't know if you would call it that, was to basically see like opposing views of how you should look as a personal trainer, and whether you should, I guess, look like the epitome of health, and whether being overweight, or in his words, fat, is appropriate.
It's a very interesting
and it was
video, and I
just
think everyone listening should
definitely go and watch. It's only like 17 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes long, and it's got timestamps on it as well, so you can like go through bits. But definitely watch the whole thing because it's interesting to see these different PTs' perspectives, who they're aiming their product at, and then what their stances are on these different topics or questions that they get asked.
It'll also help you give you context to what we're about to say in this podcast, so you can understand where we're coming from. But
I mean, we'll try and give you as much context before we give answers.
Yeah, I mean, should we start off by just going through some of the details, like what happened in terms of like money, what they ran through, how they introduced themselves, kind of thing?
Yeah.
So both of them started off the video, or like their session, should we say, by talking about how much they charged. Now, what we thought was both interesting and quite surprising straight off the bat is that Rhiannon charged £50 an hour and Bobby only charged £40 an hour. Both of which I think are reasonable prices for PTs across the board, and I would say it's pretty on average. I also think we probably should take into consideration their location. I don't actually remember where Rhiannon was based.
She's fairly local. I
know
think.
Bobby was based at a gym in Liverpool.
Because I know she's tagged or mentioned people like from like Stafford, like Foundry Stafford and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know is she Tamworth way? Have I seen her say Tamworth or something like that? But she works at a commercial gym.
Okay.
A JD or something. I think she works at a commercial gym, and he it looks like he works out of a private.
Okay.
More of a bodybuilder. It looked like more of a bodybuilder's gym, didn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking on her Instagram now to see if she says. Okay, so okay. This probably gives a bit more background as to who she kind of helps. So in her bio, it says, I help anxious and neurodivergent people start their fitness journey. She's an ADHD personal trainer, home of the sensory safe strength system. So that's her thing. That's her vibe. Bobby, does he have a bio? Bobby I couldn't say his name. Not going to butcher it again. Okay, so he doesn't have a bio, but he does have 17.9 thousand followers, which, no, I'm looking, that's his personal one. He has a coaching one. Okay, so he has 4,500 followers, all natural transformations, personalized training and diet plans. DM me, coach me to start your transformation. So pretty generic sort of PT vibes there. But I remember in the video he said he worked out of Liverpool. So yeah, straight up, a significant price difference, I would say.
Sorry, I mean more fudge.
Again, what was your initial take on that?
Do you want to give the context before we start critiquing it? Do you want to give more of the background?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we'll go talk more through about the stuff, and then I'll give my opinion.
Both of them asked what Joe Fazer. So Joe was the client in this example, and they were basically saying, okay, what's your goal? Yeah. And to both of them, he said the same. I want to build muscle. And Rhiannon first took Joe, obviously, through like the notion of what the session was going to involve. She did preface the session though and say, like, look, I'm just going to be telling you what to do. Like, this is going to be a little bit different to my usual clients because you're not my usual client. Yeah. Like, you already know what you're doing. Yeah. The people I work with can't even like step foot in a gym. They don't have the nerve to do that. They feel scared. They feel overwhelmed. They feel like, embarrassed and whatever. And she's very much the kind of hand-holding type of PT that will literally get you through the door, which I thought was valid.
Yes.
I think we agree on that.
Well, no, because I've obviously had experience with the in-person. So I've had a range of different people. So that'll be later on.
Okay.
But
Anyway,
they kind of touch on it a bit in the debate.
Yeah, they took
with
them
that
through
stuff.
a session. Rhiannon's was upper body focused entirely.
And the one
Bobby
point
was
actually
push. What?
with the upper is that she took him through an upper, but it didn't do any chest.
Well, no, I was just about to say that.
He made that comment at the end. He was like, it was a good like.
Off
He
the
said,
back of it, he was like, "Yeah, she definitely pushed me, but it
yeah,
was quite low volume and it didn't involve any chest."
yeah,
On his Bobby's session, he very much said what was like one of the hardest push sessions he's ever done in
yeah.
his life. So already you can see the contrast there. Again, not that pushing hard, like it's all contextual, so it's hard to really give an opinion just on that alone. But that was
But
Joe's
they both
opinion.
looked good. Like the Bobby guy, obviously you can tell he's more of a like because he does it himself and he
Yeah.
does that kind of style of training. You could tell it was a lot more. But I wouldn't say any of it was like showboaty or playing up to the cameras or just giving him shit for the sake of it. Like you could tell there was like thought through it. And same with Rihanna's, you could tell like there was.
She thought it through.
Yeah, she talked it through, and there was like a process to it.
Mhm.
None of them. It didn't look like any of them were like peacocking and trying to make it deliberately like over the top
Yeah.
macho bro just because they
Yeah.
knew they were filming. So I do honestly think it was like an honest take from both of them. But you could, yeah, like the takeaway from his with Rhiannon was like wasn't enough volume, didn't do chest even though it was an upper session, and with Bobby it was very much like that was a very intense
Mhm.
push session.
But then overall, yeah, they obviously both disagreed with each other quite a lot, the
Yes.
PTs, which I actually have an opinion on how that was handled on its own. But I think we should, before we go into that, like talk about what you feel overall your takeaways were from the video. Talk about everything, like talk about price, talk about execution, talk about qualification if you want to, or like talk your opinions. Yeah.
So
Obviously, I feel like it goes without saying she advocated for you not needing to look like a fitness
I'll
guru.
don't worry, I'm gonna touch
Sorry,
on
you
that.
could be a PT without having to look like one, and he was very much like, no, that's morally incorrect. So yeah.
So first of all, the price points. So I think obviously for me, I don't know how anyone else takes it, but I think obviously your price should reflect knowledge and results and years doing like basically you like I think anyone associates a higher price point to a more to a
high value.
higher value and and a better service. So looking at the two with her charging 50 and her charging and the Bobby charging 40, I would not pay her 50 quid for a session. I don't think I'd even pay her 30 quid for a session. To be fair to her, I'm not her client, so I wouldn't go to her anyway. But it's one of those things where I remember when I first started, and it was very much like, and I know she's new to the industry because you've seen like, her content. She says about how she's like in some of the early ones newly qualified, so it's like what 6 months a year, something like that.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just think, and again, I suppose you have to take into the. Did you see where she was based?
No.
So obviously you have to take into account the area as well. Because
I
obviously a PT in where we are compared to London, it's going to be higher just because of you're in London. I can't remember exactly where she is. But anyway, I mean the other guy was in a city, so that's.
Keep talking about it. I'll try and find.
Yeah. So I just think I thought personally her price point was too high.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
So she is not in a well-off place.
Yeah. So I think that price point is way too high for. I don't want to say who she is or what she does. That sounds a bit harsh, but
I think you need to like take a step back, in my opinion, and ask yourself like, if you were the type of client she is aiming to help, would you see someone that is going to confidently take you into a gym that you're really, really nervous about to potentially like kickstart a journey that's going to change your life?
yeah.
Do you think that is a value of £50, regardless of what she looks like?
No.
Do you think that assistance is
No.
worth £50?
No.
Even though that experience could be the start of a completely different.
Yeah, but
way
then
of life.
I could charge 100 quid because I'm better.
But you're
I'm
missing the
playing
point.
devil's. Yeah, I know, but then you could use that same justification to do any product and any service.
Yes, but the point is, you say you wouldn't even pay her £30,
No.
but you wouldn't pay her at all. So that doesn't mean
Yeah.
she's not worth
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. But like, the other thing as well is like when I'm if I was looking for someone, so when I've been coached by someone, and I think this is just regardless of where you're at, it's not necessarily like just using her as a thing, but like I want to see, do they practice what they preach? And you can get this from her like socials. Do they practice what they preach? Have they shown success with other clients? And obviously there's a personality, like, are you going to get on with them because you're going to be working with them? You look at her page, she doesn't really post any clients. It's all just her.
But if you're saying she's only been working 6 months to a year, then
Well,
She might not even
she
have any
has.
major transformations yet or anything like.
No, but she
Or
can still say
yeah, but
working
if
back
she
taking through a session with a
she
client.
could be, but like she could also be working with the type of clientele that don't want their face on camera. Like,
No, I
how
get
many
that.
clients do you have that do, like, I know I have so many clients
Yeah,
that are
no,
like they
it's
don't want
true.
their transformation photos showing, they don't want their names being mentioned, they don't want to be on social media, and that's completely fine, obviously. So, and the type of clientele she's working with sound like they have like next to no confidence as it is, so that's probably quite likely. But yeah, I mean, there's other ways you can market your work, but she might find that difficult, especially if she's new, because she won't have necessarily the volume of clientele yet either.
But then it's like a lot of her. I don't know.
Theoretically, she could be absolutely raking it in. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption here.
But then there's nothing like on her page that would make it suggest that she's
Playing
like
devil's advocate, then, how many clients of yours do you put on your page?
a lot.
Who,
Henry, Jonty, just this week. Holly.
respective to how many you've had though, or work with?
Yeah,
There's
but
plenty you wouldn't know you work
oh,
with.
well, brother, old client. There's one or two old clients that I've worked
Yeah,
with in
but
the
my
past. That
point
put
is,
them up.
there's a lot that you work with in person that people wouldn't have a clue came to you
Yeah, that's
because
valid.
you didn't. But that doesn't mean you're not good at your job. That doesn't mean you don't
No,
help
but
them.
also like on her page, there's nothing that she puts out there content wise that makes me think like
She knows what she's talking about.
it's very much like a lot of her stuff. Like I get in, she's advocating for trying to get people in. I'm all for that. Like it's ultimately as a like both of us like you do coaching as well. But obviously, it's like more on the nutrition side. I do like the in person stuff. Our goals are still the same. We want people to be fitter, healthier,
Yeah, for
stronger.
sure.
And it's like on her page, it's like it's very much gym instructor vibes. So you'll say like, "Oh, I'll meet you like if you're nervous, I'll meet you outside the
Mm.
car park. I'll explain what we're going to do, and then we'll go into the gym." Oh, no, that's really good, but that's it. That's the extent of like what she says. I know she's put out, and again, I can't see it, but she's put out like workbooks and ebooks saying about how to go through overstimulation and neurodiversity, like neurodiverse and stuff. But I think to a certain degree, anybody coming into it, like anybody going into a new environment is going to be daunting. Like if I still get like, if I go to a gym I'm not familiar with, I'm still a bit like, oh, like, is there a bit of kit that I don't know? Like, and I've been doing this for years and years. And it's like, I've had clients that have had zero confidence, are terrified. So it's like, I think just being a good PT, that should be part of your service is how can we make this environment that is intimidating? How can we work with you to get your confidence up? How can we make sure you're doing the right thing? So so it's like, yes, I get what she's doing, but I think also part of being a PT is that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I have people that are regular gym goers that want that extra bit, and I've had people that are absolute beginners that have had to come with partners because they weren't confident themselves. They wanted someone there to act as a buffer because they didn't want to have one-on-one with me, and I've had to build that relationship with them to the point where they've built trust in me, so I can ask them to do things, and they feel confident enough to do that.
What
So,
about if people didn't have a partner to come with?
well, I've had that as well. You just have to meet them where they're at.
Okay, I'm just like,
Playing devil's advocate again,
yeah.
yeah.
Knowing what you know now about how much this journey, or like being into the gym, being regular with a fitness routine, has changed your life and
Mhm.
does continue to change your life.
Mhm.
If you were someone who, let's say, was neurodiverse,
I am.
was significantly overweight,
I wasn't.
had absolutely no confidence whatsoever,
Mm.
was terrified to step foot in a new environment, fear of being judged, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to start, feeling like an outsider, like you didn't belong there, which we know are natural feelings of newbie gym goers. Would you think having that person to take you into that environment that could potentially change that entire life and bring you to where you are now, do you think that is a value of £50?
But then, in general,
Yeah.
taking her out of the picture, yes.
Right. So why does
Well,
she make a difference if she's bridging that gap?
because I think then once you've done that, she basically, from what I see, her stuff is a glorified gym induction. After that, I like what she doesn't have anything to. In my opinion, where does she go from that?
Well, chances are she's got the qualification. She's still not going to know more than what those people will
Do you want
know.
my controversial opinion on that?
Go on.
About the whole. So a lot of her defense as well was saying like, "Oh, well, I'm a qualified level 2 and level 3 personal trainer." Like, I get you have to have the qualification. And I get there's some people that start that journey to being a PT and don't. But, and again, not being arrogant, and you can do you because you're doing this stuff as well, aren't you? You're on your journey of doing that. When you're doing that course, is there anything there that you didn't know?
Well, that's also. I can't really say that though,
What?
because everything that I've learned of that course, I already knew because I'd been going to the gym for years before that. I'd been learning about, I'd had mentoring to do with like training, programming, human anatomy before I even did the level 2, level 3. I took biology and chemistry A level. I did biochemistry at degree level. I already had a very heavy science background.
Well, I didn't have any of the science background, but I just really was
Biology,
passionate.
didn't you? A level?
Yeah, but it's about plants and fucking how turgid it is
You
when
do
water's in
human
it.
anatomy.
But not to not to what you need.
You do for the PT level. You do more than it. More than that, sorry.
Yeah, but my point is like I was passionate about this beforehand, where the level 2, level 3 did not teach me anything in terms of how to be a good coach. It was basically, can you take someone around a gym and not kill them on a bit of kit? Cool. Now you can get insured and work in a gym. It does not teach you how to program properly. It does not teach you how to work around certain issues that people might have. It doesn't, in my opinion, it does not equip you to be anything more than like a bit of a, 3 sets of 10. You're going to do a warm up on a treadmill for 5 minutes, and then we're going to do 3 sets. It doesn't teach you how to critically think and take those things and apply it to other things. It's literally just, in my opinion, it's just a tick box.
Okay.
I've spoken to people with level 4 qualifications that are fucking stupid.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you genuinely do meet some really poor,
But because the thing for
or
me,
poorly equipped, I'll say.
and I think it's a different issue, and I think that's a different issue where obviously, like, if you want to be a physio in the fitness space and you want to spot whatever, obviously you have to do those qualifications because that's going to equip you. I'm not saying that like every qualification is dumb, but I genuinely think for me personally, I have learned way more in this space from finding people that are a lot smarter and a lot more accomplished than me and going, teach me. I'm going to be a sponge. I want to know what you know. That has taught me that knowledge has, and that doing it that way has given me more than than that level 2, level 3 ever did.
Okay.
It was horseshit, and I think it's a bigger issue in the industry where people do the level 2, level 3, and then do absolutely nothing else. They might do it again. Again, there's qualifications, and I generally think a lot of them again don't. A lot of the ones like your level 4 whatever, they don't. Do you agree? They don't really give you, again, the level 4 strength and conditioning. It gives you like the perfect scenario. Here's what to do if you have an athlete. It doesn't tell you.
What are you trying to say? Because you're jumping between
I know.
sentences
I'm
here.
trying to get it out. I don't know. I'm just.
Breathe.
Yeah, breathe. I think I'm just trying to say that I think
Mm.
trying to think of a way of wording it.
Take a second. Gather your thoughts.
I think a lot of people that are PTs don't have that hunger and desire to learn more.
Okay, from your experience.
Yes, because I've spoken to a lot of different people, and there's only like a handful of them that get, that have lived and breathed it themselves. They've done that with clients, and they've built something, and they've accumulated that knowledge over 10, 15 years of using themselves, getting that knowledge, using themselves as guinea pigs and trial and error and doing all that kind of stuff. Whereas her justification for a lot of the stuff was, I'm a level 3 personal trainer. It's like,
and you're saying that's not enough.
I know 99% of people, if that's what they deem, if they just do the level 3 and do nothing else, they're complete dog shit.
Okay.
I would not want to go anywhere near them.
That's fair enough.
And I think my main criticism of her, and then you can take any
And
exception.
him. You've not said anything about him.
No, I'll get on to him.
Okay.
I was talking about her first.
Yeah, that's fine. Just clarifying that we're going to talk about both.
No, we are going to talk about both. My main issue with her is that so first of all, she's clearly overweight. I have not got an issue with bigger people being in the gym. In fact, like we all have to start somewhere. I started off being really, really skinny and had to build up. Some people start the other way and have to come back down and find that healthy bit. We all start in different places, and bigger people, skinnier people being in the gym and trying to better themselves, you shouldn't shit on that, and if you do, you're a piece of shit. Like, everyone starts their own journey and all that kind of stuff. However, in multiple bits of her content, she has said you can be healthy at a bigger being in a bigger body, and that is categorically not true. You cannot be healthy and be obese because of the health risks that come with that. You know, heart disease, diabetes, etc. So for her spreading her message of getting people into the gym that are bigger, absolutely. To then try and justify, for what me feels like justifying why she's bigger by saying that you can be healthier in a bigger body, I think is misleading. I think is dangerous, and I think if now she's getting more of a platform, and she's giving that message out, there could be other people that take that and go, "Oh, actually, well, it's fine for me to be bigger because she said that it's healthy." So, yeah, that is my main issue with her. Her actual message of saying, I want to get people involved in the gym, absolutely. That's what we get into this business for. We want to make people's lives, we want to make them better. We want to make them fitter, stronger, healthier, whatever their goal is. But part of that being healthier for some people might be sorting your body composition out. And that goes either way. There might be some people that are very underweight that need to put weight on. Same as there are going to be people that are very overweight that need to bring their weight down. Because either end of the spectrum is dangerous. But I just feel like saying that you can be healthier in a bigger body is a no-no for me.
Okay. Anything else to add to that?
Not immediately, but I'll give you some time to speak because I've been doing it for like 10 minutes.
Anything to comment on his experience as a PT or what he was saying? As in Bobby, the other PT.
Yeah.
By the way, I thought we should probably point out that actually Joe Fazer throughout all of this was very, very neutral. He didn't express his
he didn't go.
He didn't make either PT feel uncomfortable or like they should be leaving.
He was very much the judge. He was very much like the adjudicator between them.
Do you agree with like everything he said?
I don't agree with everything he said, but like on some of the points, I just feel like on some of the points where she was saying, like, well, we have slightly different clients. He was coming back and saying, well, he also has clients that are uneasy, and he's had to go out into car parks with them. And
just explain for full context, because we've seen the video, but these people listening to the podcast might not have seen the video at this point. What was the question?
What was the statement they got given?
We should have done this. We should have written out all the statements.
We should have written out statements. But it was something about like they were having a conversation. It was basically saying she was saying like, oh well, we clearly have different clients. Like he has clients that are more like maybe performance driven, and she's more about trying to get people into the gym that don't want to. And her stance was, oh, we have different clients. And he was like, well, I don't think we do, because I have some that are very nervous, very first time gym goers that have paid for an hour session, and he's had to basically be in a car park with them because they're terrified of going in. Mm-hmm. Which, like, I agree with that bit, because regardless of what level you're at, you are going to get people that are generally terrified.
Yeah, and her argument was, I'm just reading off the transcript now, what she was saying is she's not the same type of PT as him because she appeals to a different audience.
Which I get. As we said, like, she does. She's positioning herself like that, which I agree.
She envisions herself as like success, or what she thinks they envision as success, because without her putting herself out there, showing her that she can exist in a bigger body and be in the gym, and those two things can coexist, that she's demonstrating that is possible for them too, which I think is great. And his argument was very much like, yeah, cool, but I also deal with bigger people, and I'm not embodying that same mentality. Yes. I'm not overweight, like I am the vision of what I guess the stereotypical health and fitness person is.
And that was it. And that was his main point, was that if you're in the health and fitness space and you're a PT, or I'm guessing he's saying PT, but I'm guessing that could be for any nutritionist, whatever, that you should basically look the part. If you're going to be if you're going to be a nutritionist, you should be in shape. If you're going to be a PT, you should be in good shape. Not like ripped six pack, but you shouldn't be overweight or obese. You should be a healthy body type, image, whatever you want to call it. And I think he was saying that he kind of generalized that, didn't he? Saying if you were like in the health and fitness space, you should look like a health and fitness person. Yeah. You shouldn't be a person in a bigger body trying to do that. And I think he called it immoral at one point, didn't he? Yeah, no,
he just thinks it's morally incorrect.
Yeah, he said
in a space of like being a personal trainer and not looking, or not practicing what you preach, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, we could. Do we even pause this podcast and go through and find the... No, we can't. I don't trust my editing skills.
Yeah, no.
And we also said we would never... This is completely unfiltered, so you're going to get real and raw as we did, just... Yeah. Arguably, poorly prepped.
Poorly prepped, but that's part of it. We're real, human. This is the podcast.
This idea came off the back of discussing it, so,
And
happens.
hopefully you're enjoying it too. And it's not coming across like I don't know.
Alex hates Rhiannon.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I'm just because then but I take that example. I could take that same example and use and take it to exactly something else and do it into my space, like more strength side.
Yeah.
So it's like again, if you take her saying, you can be a bit bigger person and preach health and fitness, like that message in general about getting people involved, absolutely. Saying that you can be healthier and bigger, disagree, because it doesn't take a genius to look on the Google and go like, what is a bigger? I mean, take COVID for God's sake. Like, what was one of the main things with COVID? You're more likely to die if you have a comorbidity. And what was one of the main comorbidities? Being obese, right? Because it has issues with respiratory, all that kind of shit. But if we take it like that same example and move it into more of my stuff, which is the strength side, it's like, if I was going to hire a coach, I would want a coach that was fairly strong themselves. And that's not saying they have to be the world record holder in the squat, bench, or deadlift and this, that, and the other, because I'm not. And I still have people coming to me. Like, I would never say, you only come to me if you do, because people are at different stages. But I would want to go to someone that had been, had done the thing, had been fairly strong themselves. I wouldn't want to go to someone that was saying, here's how you can bench 3 plates, and they don't ever bench 60.
Yeah.
How do they know what moving, I know again, heavy weight is relative, but how can they ever put themselves in my position and know what that's like?
Mm-hmm.
When I'm coaching one of my clients that are more strength related, and they're going right, I'm going for a 250 deadlift, I'm shit scared. It's like, I can relate to that because I've been there once. I know what it's like to move that heavy weight and actually generally get to a bar and be like, oh fuck, I am terrified. What happens if this goes wrong or that goes wrong or I don't get it and all that kind of stuff. And I just think it's the same thing with nutrition, with your space.
Yeah.
It's like, how would you feel if you wanted to lose weight and the other side, at the other end of the table or the webcam that you were having a meeting with, you were talking to someone that was morbidly obese telling you to cut your carbs.
Yeah.
It's like, and I get there's circumstances and there's context to all of this, but generally it's like, if that person has never been in that position you're trying to get to, how the hell can, and I get like her message is trying to get people in there. Like, I get that. But once they're in there and you've got over that, part of that journey is to get stronger, to get healthier, to get fitter in whatever thing you want. And if she's never been there herself, how can she expect her clients to empathize with that? And some people might not want the same thing that we have the idea of, like, and that's absolutely fine. But like you're saying,
weird that you don't all want to live in circles for like a living.
But I find it hard to believe that like her whole thing is, I want to get people through the door, but then really doesn't have the skill set to get them to the next step. So what's her business model? Is like, get people in and then go, okay, cool. Well, you've been with me for 12 weeks. You know how to use the leg press. Bye.
Yeah.
Doesn't she want to learn more, better herself, so she can do that whole thing of, I've got people through the door and now let's get on that journey to doing X, Y, and Z? I just find that's what I find a bit.
You're just wondering, like, where's she going to go after that? Charging?
Yeah, because for me, it's like, when I got into PT and I did the strength stuff, like, I would listen to a podcast and I'd go like, I'd have a question. I'd be like, oh, cool, I'm going to read this book. And I read the book and I went, well, I've answered the one question, but now I have 10 more because it's brought up 10 other things. It's just like constantly wanting to find that out. So I've got this bank of knowledge. So when I have someone come to me and they're like, I want to get stronger, but I've had this issue and I've had this, and we might need to work around that. It's like, cool, I know how to do that.
Mm-hmm. Because
I've absorbed all that knowledge over 10 years, tried some stuff for myself, figured out what works, and I can put that back out into the world. And that's where I find the disconnect. But maybe I'm looking at it too close, so I can't zoom out.
No, I think it's interesting to hear your thoughts, because like, it's not that I disagree with you.
Because the other thing that really annoys me in the space is people are not passionate. Like, you can tell they've literally done their level 2, level 3, and they've just switched off. Because I've spoken to, and it's almost like, I hate this, I'm going to come across so fucking bitter, but I'm sure you've had it as well, because I've ranted about, I know I've ranted about this, where I've had conversations with so many coaches where I generally couldn't have a conversation with them because their knowledge was so lacking that I would use a word and they didn't understand what that meant. Like periodization, which is the whole, like, how you build a program. I was like, oh, cool. What's your favorite method of periodization? Like, what do you use for clients? They go, what? I was like, but that's the building block of how you design a program. How do you, How do you not know what that is? And if you didn't know, why wouldn't you want to go and find that out? Because it's interesting. Like, you're in this space. Don't you want to learn more?
Well, people don't know what they don't know, do they?
But I didn't. And what did I do? I was like, I clearly have a deficit in my knowledge.
Yeah,
We,
but
we have
you
we have this
acknowledge
amazing
you
thing
acknowledge
called
the
the
deficit
internet.
though.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know they've got a deficit.
Oh, they do.
No, they don't.
Oh, they
No,
do.
some people don't know what they don't know. They think that level 3 and level 2 qualification
Then I
is
think they're very
enough.
shallow-minded people that need to
Well,
expand
quite
their
possibly,
horizons.
but unfortunately they exist. And they exist in this space.
And I hate it.
Whilst Alex was talking about that, though, I actually managed to go through the whole transcript and find the questions that he asked. So
Sorry, I'm
if
gonna
he,
eat more
like,
fudge.
after I've given my 2p, we can go and give our
Nom nom nom.
final, I guess,
Yeah,
thoughts
sorry.
on it.
You talk. I've spoken way too much.
No, it's fine. Like, I have a slightly different stance on it, more from like a coaching perspective than anything. I guess I kind of understand her a little bit more because she's almost similar to some of the people that I work with. Or she presented that way anyway. I'm not going to assume because obviously I don't know her. But from a price standpoint, I think both were reasonable prices for a PT. I understand what you said. Like, as in, like, £40 to £50 an hour for a PT is pretty standard, like across the board.
Yeah.
Usually, you would expect, like, understanding her experience, you would expect her to naturally be on the lower end because
She's much
usually
experienced.
you get more experience, you get better results, you have more value to offer. That is when your value will creep up. So, seeing that obviously he is evidently more experienced, more knowledgeable, has obviously been a PT for longer, you would naturally expect him to cost more. But as I said, that value is very much dependent on the demand. You know, she could be booked out, and that could be just why she's had to increase the prices or whatever. So I don't really have too much of an opinion on that. In terms of the quality of the session, I think, or what they were delivering, the reason I don't fully agree with what you're saying or what Bobby was saying is that she never, in that video, she never came across like she was trying to sell something that she couldn't deliver. She was very open with the type of person she was there to help. She was very open about her own experiences, about, you know, why she was there in the first place and what she was there to do. She was also pretty open about what she didn't do. Like, she wasn't there to be like a bodybuilding PT.
Yeah.
She wasn't there to, you know, help him get shredded, get a six pack. Like, she never claimed to be able to do any of those things. And I think when people are saying that they can do things that they can't deliver on and then charging a premium price for like a premium service that they categorically cannot deliver, that's when the problem arises. But if you're charging for a service that you are saying you can deliver and you are delivering it, then that's literally how good business works. I don't have an issue with that. And I think, like, the reason I was asking you so much about it is because I think people in her position, or the type of people she's advocating for, would absolutely value an hour of her time to get them into that space that's going to try, you know, transform their life for £50. Like, it's tiny, it's like pennies in the grand scheme of what it can do for your long-term health.
Yeah.
So I think in that regard, yeah, that's where I stand on that. And I think equally, if you're the type of person that's wanting to go into a gym, grow muscle, get jacked, get strong, get shredded, Bobby equally looked like a great personal trainer for that. And if you get along with both of them, then obviously that matters just as much, because there are going to be, like, as much as we say how much we hate the industry because it's so unregulated, it's so, you know, poorly managed. There's some people that don't know their arse from their elbow.
Yeah.
And that is really frustrating for people that do go out their way to expand their knowledge, to develop as personal trainers and coaches and, you know, become better coaches and better people in general. That is annoying to see because it's like we invest so much of our time, money, and effort to do that, and then to see that people are profiting off others by not making that effort and, you know, delivering that whole service they can't, or promising that service they can't deliver, kind of thing, that is annoying. But again, getting on with the person matters a lot, and there's going to be good PTs out there, is what I was saying, that will be able to do that. It just depends on which one you get on with best.
Yeah.
In terms of, actually, I think this is probably the time when we should ask the questions, because I think this is where it'll summarise. Because there was, and it'll come off the back of this, there were a few concerns I had about what she was standing for as a coach, which is where the whole, like, me being a little bit worried as a nutrition coach
Yeah.
came into play. Now, one of the questions they were both asked was, or the statement they were given and they were told whether they agree or disagree, was body positivity is a dangerous movement. And before I go into what I think, what is your answer on that? Why are you laughing? Did I say that really dramatically?
No, because I know in my head what I'm thinking. I'm just.
Go on, say it then.
I think yes. I think I'd have to be in the middle. I think it's yes and no.
All right. Explain. Discuss.
I think because I think. See, more fudge. Body positivity is a dangerous movement. Eat more fudge. So I'll say in general what I think, and then I'll try to say it to them.
Just say it.
So I think it's both. I think you've got one camp that is. There's some people basically saying glorifying obesity.
Good fudge.
Such good fudge. I think there's a crowd at the minute in this space. You've got two groups of people, haven't you? You've got people that glorifying obesity, saying it's okay to be. It's absolutely fine to be morbidly obese. That's cool. You can still be like just because you're moving and you're training in a gym, and you're overweight, does not equal good.
It's the type of people that say you can be healthy at any size.
Yes, big disagree. Glorifying obesity, that's fine. Glorify obesity into the grave. I don't want people to die, obviously, but that's what you're going to do. But then I think there's absolutely a need for, if you've worked hard to get to a certain point, why not show off what you've worked for?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's equally valid. If you fucking busted a gut for 10 years to get into the shape that you want, why the hell would you not want to show that off?
Or you're just happy in the body that you have. Like, you have a right to be happy with that as well.
Yes. But I also think if
not
you're...
at the detriment of your health.
Yeah, if you're morbid obese, you can't... Because then what you send from those crowds, they go, yeah, it's okay to be fat. And then you get some other people going, yeah, me too, just to try and make themselves feel better. And it's like, how you feel and facts are two totally different things, because you get a lot of people saying, like, my truth. My truth is... It's like, your truth is you're going to die. Keep on eating that pudding and not moving and you're going to die. That's what your truth is. I also do think, as another thing with the body positivity... Especially now, I think, especially for younger people, you see it with body image. I think, obviously with Photoshop and all this kind of stuff, then you do get the other side where people are obviously potentially lying about how they've got certain results, like taking a shitload of gear, and then saying you can do that naturally, which leaves a lot of people feeling shit because the people that aren't as savvy as us or in the space can't separate, what can you do naturally and what can you do if you're taking a shitload of gear and stuff. And it's like, it's very easy, and you see it, especially with like teenagers, where they get very disheartened when they've been in the gym for a year and they're not looking like Ronnie Coleman. It's like, Ronnie Coleman was a genetic freak and took a shitload of gear. Like, you should just be happy with working hard, setting yourself little goals, and improving yourself time on time, and then be happy with the result that you get at the end.
Yeah, no, I think on the whole, body positivity, for what it is, like black and white body positivity, is not a dangerous movement.
No.
I think health at any size is a dangerous movement.
Yes.
And I don't think they're the same thing.
No.
I think health at any size is a very dangerous movement because I do agree with what you say in that sense. Like, it's...
Which bit?
I want people to feel okay in their bodies. Like, it's even if you're not happy with where you are, don't drag yourself down because that's not going to be conducive to any sort of positive change. But at the same time, don't settle for a quality of life that's going to put you in harm's way because
100%.
Categorically, you only need to look at the statistics, you only need to look at the data, at the research, and I know that's quite annoying sometimes to say, but, again, we don't agree with BMI on all cases. It's not an entirely accurate thing, but it is there for a reason, and it's there because when you're at a high BMI, you are at higher risk of certain health conditions that can be life-threatening if not controlled, and I think to accept that and to make out like that is healthy, it's categorically not. Like, it's just not. And that comes for, like, we were talking about this as well, like lean bodybuilders that are really, really big and have like a categorically overweight or obese BMI, or like powerlifters, for example, athletes in general. Some of them can be categorized as overweight or obese. And when you look at them, you think, well, how can they be? Because they're running really fast, or they're lifting really heavy, or they're looking absolutely shredded. But that lifestyle in itself isn't sustainable at that degree. And that's why people have to pull back. Yeah,
you'll see professional bodybuilders that walk around like 305 pounds in the off season. They're in the sport for 10 years. Like looking at Jay Cutler now, like he's an example. Like, was one of the best bodybuilders, won Mr. Olympias, and he's had to downsize because you cannot, like, yes, obviously a rugby player or whatever, they're not fat. So obviously there's less of the health risk with carrying, is it visceral fat? The fat that stuff. but still being that size puts a lot of strain on stuff like your heart. So even though it's a quote unquote like health, your body composition is healthier at that size, still being that size in itself is a detriment to your health. Like, how many athletes do you see that are bigger people, like in terms of like being jacked and stuff, lose a shit ton of weight after because they go, okay, well, I've done my sport, I've done my time in my sport. I actually want to be around for a couple more years after that. I don't want my heart to explode and my kidneys to shit out my ass. I'm going to pull back a bit so I can actually enjoy my life and not die and have all these health complications.
Come off the roids and live a normal life.
I mean, there's a whole thing about obviously potentially lasting damage done with steroids anyway, but that's a whole different that's a whole different thing. Yeah. That's not also good, but that's a decision they make. Whatever. So I think we covered that one, and I think so. Yeah, I think. Oh God, I'm sweaty. I'll put my hand down. So again, like I think anything, it's very much like a yin and yang. There are positives, but there are also some negatives.
Which
and
I think is why we said like body positivity, yes.
Yeah.
Health at any size, no.
No. Next question. Jesus, you were zoomed in on that.
It's okay to be overweight/obese.
This is a very easy one.
Agree or disagree? Strongly agree or strongly disagree?
Strongly disagree.
Why?
Because of the health risks. I think, like...
That's fine, if that's your answer.
I think it's one of the things where, like, if you are someone that is overweight, obese, and you are actively trying to change and better yourself, absolutely. Like, I think you are doing the right thing. Now, staying at being overweight and obese is not the right thing.
Yeah. I think this was the point in the video that made me concerned for her.
Yeah.
And it was because this is where she started to well, they discussed two things here that I think are worth mentioning. One was that she was saying, I think she stayed neutral on this one, was because she didn't know what was going on in other people's heads, which completely valid. Like, you don't know someone's circumstance.
Yeah.
And therefore she didn't want to feel like she was in a position of making someone that is overweight or obese feel like that's not okay. And one of the arguments that were brought up is that, for example, certain medications can make people overweight or obese. But then Bobby disagreed and said, well, you know, no medication out there categorically makes you put on fat. Like, eating too much food makes you put on fat.
Yeah.
And then they both argued, like, well, are you a pharmacist? And it was like, no, are you? And it was like, no. It was like, well, can any of you have an opinion? I guess, yes, you can both have an opinion.
Doesn't make it right.
Whether either of you know, like, what goes on. Now, from experience, like, I think it is worth mentioning, like, there are a lot of medications out there that will make you gain weight as a side effect. Potential side effects, some of them categorically will make you gain weight. Now, whether that's body fat or water retention or increased inflammation, it obviously depends on the circumstance. There are some medications out there that make you more hungry, and they dysregulate your appetite control like mechanisms, and that can obviously make you gain weight, genuine body fat. But again, you have to take that with a pinch of salt, because again, that person is dealing with a whole different kind of circumstance, which I think is what she was trying to say you've got to give consideration to. But then he was kind of arguing, yeah, but you still need to stay at a healthy body weight whether you've got that medication or not, which also fair.
Plain devil's advocate for that, though.
Go on.
No, I agree with everything you're saying, but like, if it was me, because I know a lot of her arguments on a lot of stuff was feelings against facts. And like saying the whole thing, like, you don't know what's going on in anyone's head. Like, absolutely, it still doesn't change the fact that being that size is more dangerous. Like, I can fully appreciate, because, you know, I've got a splash of autism. Like, I know what it's like to have a funky brain, and stuff doesn't, you know, you have good days and you have bad days. But you kind of have to learn how to navigate that space. So, like, and I know you're like, it's the whole thing where sometimes people use certain things as a shield, an excuse, a crutch, yeah. And it's like, she's so obviously her whole message is, oh, the neurodiverse. It's like, absolutely, like, I'm one of them. I understand, and you've seen what what goes on. But
I did a whole week of content on this, actually, guys, if you want to.
But it's the same. But it's like part of that is like going, okay, cool. What do I struggle with? And then what can I actively do to try and make those things better? And it's not going to be solved. And it's probably not going to just poof go away, but you get better at dealing with those things. And it's the same attitude that I have with, like, if you're going on a medication and you know that, like, potential weight gain, whether that's water, whatever, is a side effect, it's like, cool, I absolutely sympathize, but maybe factor that into your lifestyle as a whole. If you know you're going to be on something that gives you a predisposition to something, factor that in so you can try and mitigate that damage as much as you can. Just because you're on a drug, it doesn't almost give you the justify being bigger. It's
Mhm.
like if you know that you've got this health condition and you know that this drug has this side effect, I'm not taking away. It makes it harder for some people to lose weight. Absolutely. I sympathize with that. However, surely you should factor that into your life to make sure you're doing as much damage mitigation as you can.
Yeah, I think it's just it then comes to down to making sure that those people have that support
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously it goes without saying if anyone's listening to this who's having to take medication that puts them at a predisposition of gaining weight, don't think that this is us saying like, oh well, that's not an excuse. You should be dealing with that. Obviously, so many things go into play here, like family commitments,
Yeah,
work
yeah.
commitments, lifestyle commitments. Like we're not saying it's easy, and in
No,
fact we're saying it is harder,
yeah.
100%. But we're saying this more from like an empowerment perspective, like it's possible to control it, and let that be something that is a priority because your health shouldn't have to suffer any more than it already is, just because of you, needing to go on some sort of medication to help whatever it is you're trying to handle.
Mhm.
But what concerned me with what she said was that she openly admitted she isn't okay with the size she's
Yes,
at.
yeah.
And she said, I don't like being this way. I don't wake up every morning and think, yeah, I'm okay with this. She eats because of her mental health. And she said, I've got poor mental health and that's why I eat the way I do. And that is just why, and that's why she doesn't feel in the position to judge anyone who's overweight because
Mm.
she's like, well, if I'm in this position because of this is how I'm feeling, then chances are other people are going to be feeling the same that are in that position. And she's right. And I thought that was very brave of her to open up. And I thought it was really honest that she admitted that. And I think it's also really self aware, which is great because, again, this is why I kind of didn't feel as strongly towards her reasoning or like her stance as a PT the way you did in terms of like she, needs to look better, whatever. Um,
I'm saying she needs to look like, well,
to lose weight,
yeah,
which, like, yes, to be healthy, sure, but she wasn't trying to portray that she was happy in that body. Well, yeah, I know what you're gonna say. But in that video, I'm just talking about that
yeah.
video alone, she didn't make out like she was happy, she didn't make out like that size was something people needed to aspire towards. She wasn't making out like everything else about that was okay. She was literally just saying, "Look, guys, even if you're overweight, it's okay to come to the gym," which I think is so valid. But I do think if you're putting yourself in a position of power and influence in an industry that you are not 100% confident with, or at least there's a big room where something needs to improve and you need to get stronger and healthier mentally, it does make me wonder if you should be teaching others that. But again, I don't know if she gives any nutrition advice. I don't know if she gives any mental health advice. But I do think she should be practicing what she preaches if she does do that. And if she can't yet because she's not quite in the position, then that would make me think, okay, maybe it's worth not quite, going full blown into that world just yet until you're in a position that you can confidently execute it yourself.
Because that's what I know it's about that video.
And then after we'd seen this YouTube video, so for context of what Alex was like jumping up about there, we then saw she was doing a marketing ad, I think, or a marketing video
So, yeah, some kind of promo
promoting
thing.
some sort of, was it like a new plan or like getting on to pet coaching or like
It was
coming
either
into
a
the gym?
motivational type thing or it was promoted. It looked very well done, so it
And
makes me think it's some kind of marketing
she
tool.
was basically saying, um,
You can be.
you can be healthy at any size. And she was like, you can be like, her words were literally like, I look like this and I'm happy or something like that.
It's like, well, in the
And it
video
was
you
like, oh,
weren't saying
we've
that.
literally just seen a video of you saying you're not okay like that,
Yeah.
which that made me think like, but also,
So are you
yeah,
lying?
well, yeah.
Are you lying to sell a product? Are you generally at war with yourself? But either way, I think it's
Well,
like you
she
said.
is. Like, I don't think anyone, and this might be controversial, but I think from my experience, no one that is overweight is happy. People can say they're happy, and people can say, like, I'm happy the way I am. But, like, if you really dig into why people have got into that position in the first place, some of it can be really deep, some of it can be really impactful. And I'm not judging anyone for being in the position of being overweight at all. Um, but saying you're happy with being overweight, you might be accepting, but I'm not sure I've ever met anyone who's happy being overweight because it is limiting
Yeah.
in some way. And it does put you at a high risk of health complications. And people know that. People aren't naive to knowing that. And people don't ever want to be in a position where their life is going to be threatened because of something that they theoretically can control. So, yeah, that's something I struggle to get on side with. But
Yes.
I think that's probably enough said on that. On the last question, though, or the last statement, you need to be in good shape to be a personal trainer. Where do you stand on that one?
What do you mean by good shape?
Oh, that's what the statement was. Do you agree or disagree?
I personally,
What do you think of good shape?
person,
Define good shape.
so personally, I think I mean I'll take the good shape, but I'll also again expand it to what like my thing as well. For me personally, if I was going to like, if I was going to get coached into bodybuilding, if I ever wanted to go down that route, if I was going to pick a coach, I'd want to pick a coach that looked like a bodybuilder. Now that's not going to be again, doesn't have to be shredded all year round, whatever, but like again, like in quote unquote good shape. If I was going to go with someone that was a strength coach, I would want them to be fairly strong.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go and find a nutritionist, I'd want to find someone that preached nutrition that again had a good body composition, was in fairly good shape. I just think, and again, like in all of those, you don't have to be the award winning, you don't have to be the Mr. Olympia record holder, whatever. But it's just one of those things where it's almost like, how can you empathize with me going through this if you haven't done it? How can you relate if you haven't done it? But also, I think to a degree, again, I could be totally wrong because I feel like potentially I'm too close to the problem, and I'm obviously on one side of the glass because I am a coach. But I think to a degree, how we look and what we do is almost like is part of the selling point, is part of the marketing. Gurgle. Because I think one of the examples that Bobby threw out, wasn't it, is like you wouldn't go to a broke financial advisor or something like that. And it's like, again, everything requires context. But on the face of it, it's like,
That's what
well,
you've said, though. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't go to
yeah.
someone
Well, it's
with
like,
strength.
but
I
that's
think
what
it's
I'm saying.
specific.
Yeah, yeah. But I think it's like, well, generally, yeah. I
So I
wouldn't.
think it depends on what you're going to the personal trainer
Yeah.
for as to what they should.
But then my argument with someone like Rhiannon is like, yes, I know that her whole point is like getting into the gym and getting confident, but that is one part of the journey. What do they do when they're already confident enough?
Well, then
Like,
they
if
potentially move
you're,
on to a new personal trainer, I guess, if
but
that's what they want
if
to do.
she's basically at this conflict of, am I okay to be overweight? Am I not? And then promoting it and then not. It's like,
That's not the question.
no, sorry, no, I was kind of going off. But
Specifically as a personal trainer, do you think you have to be in good shape? It's okay to say something controversial, if you think it's controversial.
personally, I think, yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go to someone. I know her message isn't what I'd want, but if there was someone that was like that, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go to someone like that. I'd want them to have walked the walk in some degree.
I agree. Which you probably didn't think I was going to say, did you?
No, I know you would, but I thought you were going to come back at me with some devil's advocate wizard bullshit. So.
I don't strongly agree. I just agree. But that is almost because I think, to a degree, everybody should be in some relatively decent shape because that is where they put their health. So that's obviously indicative of good health. And obviously, in an ideal world, everybody would have good health. Now, obviously, it goes without saying that doesn't take into consideration things that are way out of people's control and circumstances. And because of that, we can't control that. And we will never be in a time where everyone has good, like perfectly good health. But I think for the things that you can control, people should all take that responsibility to do that. You know, people should make an effort to have a relatively balanced diet, obviously, once they've learned how that looks. And if you don't, then use the information out there available. You know, everybody should be making an effort to get some form of exercise in every single day, or at least a few times a week. Whatever that looks like for you, there's no like set expectation there. You know, that can be super flexible. But again, everybody should be making an effort to get some sort of decent quality sleep when they can. And obviously, I know that goes without saying, that comes from almost a very privileged position of someone, you know, not having kids or not having like.
It's so easy for
But
us.
yeah, well, well, I know, because I'm literally thinking now of some of the conversations I've been having with my clients this week of like people that have got kids and they're not sleeping, or they've, you know, my only nearest experience of that is having a puppy and them not sleeping through the night.
I'm sorry,
but I know that's not the same.
But then on the Uno reverse, you have got clients that work shifts, that are parents, and still find time to put their
No,
exercise
exactly.
first. We've said it before in different podcasts. I think it's very easy to find excuses if you're looking for them.
Yeah. But also then I was going to say, well, they're obviously in a position where they can also have the support of coaching, because that is literally life-changing, providing you've got a good PT/coach, obviously. But also that's why we do things like this, because we understand coaching isn't accessible for everyone and not everyone can afford it. But this is why we're trying to, create as much content as we can to deliver that. But I still think people should take a responsibility to put their health first in some way, because ultimately we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to our families, to our friends, to value what we only get one shot at having.
As JLS said, you only get one shot, so make it count. You might never get this moment
And on
again.
that note, oh no, that song is going to be in my head all night.
Only
Get one shot, so make it count. Which is your favourite JLS person?
Well, wasn't one of them a no-no?
I don't know if that got confirmed. You mean a pedo?
No, I don't think it was a pedo. I think he was.
something.
I think he did
Something
it.
inappropriate came on board.
It's kind of like rap, but with an extra letter.
Oh, was it?
I don't know.
I've got a feeling.
I think it was some kind of effect.
Arisha? I don't know how you say his name. There was Austin.
Who was the one that always backflipped?
I think Austin, the little one with spiky hair.
Do you remember he did it once and he just didn't stick the landing and just ate floor?
I love how you know that.
Because
was another one.
The video got shared.
JB. That was the other one.
I mean,
I was a big JLS fan.
I mean, they were in the charts once or twice. I would have heard those ones. I wasn't. Didn't like that one. Didn't like that. That was annoying.
Anyway, we've gone off topic. Yeah, and again, that I know that's quite a bold statement, but hopefully, like, everyone should be in shape. And by shape, by the way, I will just clarify, I don't mean, dick skin shredded with a six-pack.
I love when people say just to try and be really shred his dick skin. It's so fun. I don't even think being.
I don't think that's necessarily healthy. Like, I really don't. Like, we're not like that. And I was
skin.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to emphasize it.
You said it.
Yeah, I know. I just think, like, generally have a little bit of substantial muscle tissue, like be in a relatively healthy range of, your BMI with a body fat percentage. Like, just have health markers in a good position, and that doesn't mean super lean with a six-pack. Like, absolutely not. And I think that's unrealistic for a lot of people.
We do not want your blood like syrup.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, we just want you to be living happy, healthy, strong lives in the best of your ability. But overall, do you think you should be in shape to be a personal trainer?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
The end. Closed book.
Because basically, after we said, like, personal trainers are advocating for confidence. They are advocating for good health. They are advocating for, strength, exercise, good nutrition, and all of that will embody a good shape. However that looks for you is obviously going to be person dependent. But by that we mean healthy markers, living a life that's hopefully going to be prosperous and long. Yeah. Have you got any more thoughts to add to that? I'm going to put this question in the poll, by the way, because I'd be interested for people to see.
Do you think?
Do you think you should be in shape to be a personal trainer?
I've had something similar where it's like, if you're going to get a coach, you think they should walk the walk.
Yeah.
And the majority of people agree, but I've had one or two people use, like, the outliers as a justification. Like, they've gone, like, I know this is slightly off the thing of good shape, but it's kind of the same. They're like, oh, well, Usain Bolt's running coach didn't do this. And it's like, right, okay, so you're taking the 1% to justify the 99. You can't use the outliers to justify your argument. The majority of people that are good coaches, nutrition, whatever, will have done that at some point in their lives, will have got to a semi-decent level, or be fairly strong, or will be in shape if they're doing nutrition, or will have good amount of muscle if they're a bodybuilder. Like, yes, there are always outliers. There's always people either side of the bell curve, but they're the outliers.
Yeah, I honestly think this is a conversation I could talk for hours on, and I could debate with people, and I could actually pros and cons to everything. There's
I want to
yeah.
Fight us. If you disagree, fight me, and I'll find you in the comments.
I'll put in the comments. Do give us your thoughts, because I want to know. But
if I'm wrong and you think I'm a piece of shit, tell me I'm a piece of shit.
There's probably going to be so many like things that we haven't even put our 2 pence for, or like we haven't explained, or we haven't elaborated.
This was very like we were like deciding what we had a topic already lined up,
topic planned and everything,
which we'll probably do next week.
Scrap that.
And then we were like, you know what? This got us talking last night as we were having our smash burgers.
Stick the mic on. Let's get going.
Yeah. So sorry if it was a bit like haphazard, because we just got so excited. We're like dogs chasing our tails.
No, but I think it's a good conversation to have. And I think it's important with the
And I
industry
think
the
the other
way it's
thing,
going at the moment.
I think the other thing as well is like the whole facts versus. I keep on saying it, but the other thing you got to remember as well is with some of these people that are the other way, not in good shape, is when you have your belief system challenged, the initial response is going to be fuck you.
Mm.
And again, it's like facts versus feelings. Okay, fine. You might feel a bit hard done by, but like you're saying, all the people that you've had an experience that are overweight, even though they're like, oh yeah, we're fine. Fuck you, fucking skinny bitches. Like once you
They've gone to me for a reason,
once you
though.
come down, it's
Yeah.
like you're probably doing that as a defense because if you say it first, then people can't do this and that. But like I know the knee-jerk reaction when you hear people like us be like, "No, well, it's so easy to do this, and you should do that." Is go right, fuck you, because you've had it so easy. You've always been
Yeah,
this.
I am fine
It's like
like this. Like,
I started off being a. If you look at my social, I put the picture up with me and my cousin. I was the other way. I was known for being a little twig bitch. I was skinny. I had to work my fucking ass off to try and to get to the point where I was putting weight on and I was like healthy. I wasn't like anorexic, but I was known as being the skinny, dweeby, scrawny kid. It's like I've kind of done it the other way where I probably was a bit underweight and then found some sport, had to eat to support that, and then have got back into that range. But like I do appreciate how hard it is. But again, I didn't feel great when someone was going to me like, "You're skinny, eat food." I was like, "Fuck you." And then you go,
yeah.
"Oh, actually, maybe it's not a bad thing to sort this out because guess what? Sorted that shit out. Performance got a lot better." So, what do you know?
Yeah, and obviously we're going to probably cap this off with saying like performance is always the way to go. Like this is why I love it though, because it also doesn't put too much pressure on what you look like. Like you naturally are in shape off the back of executing a good performance-driven plan.
I'm so sweaty. I shouldn't lift my arms up.
But yeah, it's. I think there is a lot of pressure put on aesthetics, and there is, especially with people working in the industry, and I think that is too much sometimes, and the expectation um
Tell you what,
is unrealistic. It is a lot, but
I'll get a bikini and I'll put the bikini on. Go fuck your
I don't, I
standards.
don't, I don't think. Oh, sure, yeah, exactly. But that's why we're going with that. Like,
Fuck
we
your standards, bro.
don't have quite the extreme standard where we're like, oh, you should be super shredded, like super jacked, like super built, but also like just be healthy.
Yeah,
If you're
don't.
working in this space and advocating for it.
Yeah,
And if you're not, that's totally fine. Just make an effort to make sure you're on that track to becoming that.
because it's
And
pretty.
just make sure you're always 10 steps ahead of your clients. Ideally, you could.
It's
You're
pretty
good to
damn.
go.
It's pretty damn cool to be strong. Like no one's ever said, "Oh no, I was too strong."
No, you haven't. Anything else to add? Wrapping it up there. We've been waffling
Yeah,
for nearly an hour and
anything else to
20.
add? Yeah, the bird with the largest wingspan is the albatross. So you can take that fact. If you've got a pub quiz coming up, I hope it does come up because that is right.
And also, big up Fudge Kitchen from Bath, because that was 10 out of 10 and highly recommend. What flavour did we have? Chocolate
We had the
swirl.
chocolate swirl.
So we've got other 2 flavours to try. Maybe we'll let you know how that goes, maybe not. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow, comment, give us your 2 pence, vote on the poll. We'll love you forever. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.